Welcome to the Javier Mendez podcast, and we are back. And Javier is back from Las Vegas, and there's a fight on your hands, even though someone seems to be playing. Let's not talk about that. I don't want to hear about the Umar coming to take my belt away from me. What did you think about the main fight, first of all?
The main fight, I didn't know what to think because I thought if Merab, took him down, how long will it take, O'Malley to get back up, and what can he do once he gets back up? I knew for sure that Merab was going to take him down. I mean, I thought there was a chance that O'Malley could hit him before that happened because he's got great strikes, So I thought that could happen, but it didn't happen. So O'Malley got worked for 100% for first 4 rounds. He was worked. The last round was maybe you can give it to Sean,
Barely.
but maybe you can. That's the one justified. But the 40, 48, 47, two scores on the judges, I got to tell you, they should be fired. What the heck? Like, he clearly dominated. To me, he dominated all 5 rounds. To me, if I was going to give it one, I would give him the 5th round. But to me, and it's a lot based on the fact that he did hurt him with that front kick. He hurt him. I thought it was a groin shot, but it wasn't.
Into that liver.
Yeah, he hit a good, beautiful shot, and so I thought that was it. But I don't know. I don't really. The fight was not exciting. It was not exciting at all. It was a one-sided affair. It wasn't back and forth. It was basically O'Malley really couldn't get started. So it wasn't. When you have a one-sided fight like that, they don't become great fights, obviously. But if you're on the other end and that's your fighter, it's a great fight, because you win. I've been on those sides quite a few times, so I'm thinking this is a great fight. But yeah, from a fan's perspective, not so much.
Well, I mean, you just get off. Umar won a very technical fight. So is that a like flash bang, rock'em sock'em so much? Not so much, but technical from a professional, from a true fighter's perspective, that fight's really good. But from the outside, they're like, when they're going to knock each other's heads off, which is the average fan, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, the Valentina, and the Alexa Grasso fight, that was a very interesting fight. Valentina, approached this one with a different tactic, taking her down all the time and controlling her there, not really looking for submissions. And Alexa, to her credit, tried numerous submissions, and some were slightly close, but it just wasn't to be her day. One of the things that I was noticing between some of their fighters, Irene Aldana did the same thing. They're doing this peekaboo type thing with those little gloves coming like this, and then they're striking, But when you do this right here, because they're little gloves, right?
Punch their hands.
It doesn't allow you to react quick with that. So I was wondering, why are they doing that? I don't, for MMA, I don't think that's a good tactic. Personally, I would never teach my guys that. But Ben Diego Lopez, who's with that same team, he didn't do it. He was out there doing this thing, and he was connecting on Brian Ortega pretty good. That was a very fun fight too. That Brian Ortega fight. That was a fun fight.
He almost had him finished. He did have him finished. If he would have, it's like if I could have, would have, whatever.
If I could have, would have, should have. But it was a very entertaining affair. But the one fight that was maybe one of the greatest fights I've ever seen was the one before the Brian Ortega fight. Oh, wow.
So Huber and Rabovic.
Yeah, that was one of those barn burners, man. I that's got to be fight of the year, fight of the decade, fight, whatever you want to call it. That was one hell of a fight, man. I was like, that really got me all pumped up. The way that guy did what he did, bringing his head up and down like this, and that guy's going crazy trying to finish him. I mean, that was an incredible back and forth. Two great warriors. I mean, threw down, and the fight before that was actually pretty good too, between O'Day and that other guy that won.
Rodriguez.
That was a pretty good fight too. The first 3 fights were very good. The last 2 fights were lackluster, and I'm kind of wondering why Merab's avoiding Umar, because before Umar was even announced yesterday that that's the next contender, Merab was dismissing him already because people were talking and he was saying he doesn't deserve it. He hadn't fought anybody, and it's all subjective of who deserves what. This is not a legit sport. If it was a legit sport like basketball and baseball, yeah, number one always fights number two for the championships, right? But this
You
is
can
not.
debate. You can debate anybody, even him deserving anything. You can debate deserving all across the board.
Because
right?
what I'm trying to say here, he's talking about he wants to fight Figueroa because he's a two-time whatever champ. But okay, if you're looking on rankings, he's ranked number 5. So you're telling me he hasn't deserved it, but you want to fight the number 5th guy that's ranked number 5th over the guy that's ranked number 2, who's the next legit title contender. He was number 1 now, I would imagine, if not number 1. After a performance like that, I would think Umar's going to be number 1 contender, no doubt. Because I don't see how O'Malley could drop from that to a number 1 contender after a performance like that. There's no way. So Umar would be the number 1 contender. And we were told originally that we were going to get that fight. And that's one of the reasons why I think Sanhagen took that fight, because if he'd have beat Umar, he'd have got a title fight. Well, we got the same offer, and now that's what Umar was there to be shown that, hey, I'm here, I'm next, and but why is he avoiding him? I don't understand. He's not afraid of him. No fighter's afraid of anybody. What's the reason? I wonder. I don't buy into that. He hasn't done enough, because it's like, and if he is saying that, then that's foolish, because you should fight whoever the UFC says you're going to fight. If you're the champion, you fight everybody. You don't.
Didn't he not want to fight his buddy? That was part of his drama too.
The buddy part, I get that. He wouldn't want to fight AJ Aljamain. I get that. I don't blame him for that. That's their own personal preference. But if it's not a buddy thing, because then if I'm saying, there's an issue with the buddy thing, you should fight your buddy. Well, no, then why the heck doesn't Islam go up to want to go up to welterweight now? Because Bilal's there. He doesn't want to now. It changed. Right. So I do get that, because I do get that. It's legit. It is prize fighting. I get it, but sometimes if it's against somebody you consider a brother, you're not going to fight him. And especially if it's a real brother, of course. But these guys are that close; they don't want to fight each other. It all depends. It comes down to the fighters themselves. If they want to fight each other or not, they will fight. I'm not against it. Whatever they want. But usually most people do not want to fight somebody they train with. They usually don't. That's usually the deal. But, it's happened before. It's never going to end. There's always going to be situations where someone doesn't want to fight so-and-so because he trained with them or he trains with them presently. And the promotion has to do the best fights for them. And they're not concerned about, well, you're not going to fight him because he's your brother. Their concern is my promotion. You fight so-and-so because that's who we want you to fight. That's what we feel is going to give us the most bang for our promotion. So that's what we want to see. So they're going to do what they're going to do, and you can't blame them because they run a great show. But,
I was looking at that. I was watching his interview, and I wasn't like hating on him. I'm like, what's your it's like, what's your motive? You know what I mean? Great fight, good job. Time to fight Umar. Okay, that's how. But he doesn't want. He wants like, can I just have a break? I mean, it worked all the way to get here. It's like there's a lot of guys that jump right in the ring. I'm ready to take on whoever's next. Respect that kind of warrior. Respect that kind of warrior. You know what I mean?
I think I don't know. I don't know why he's avoiding him. I don't know why. Maybe that's his way of building the fight. By looking like he's avoiding. Because I just don't see him being afraid of anybody. He's a champ. He's not afraid of nobody. O'Malley's not afraid of nobody. Umar's not afraid of nobody. These guys will fight anybody. So I don't know. I would really like to know what the real reason is.
If you're a champ and you're not afraid, why the heck would you start saying, well, the people he fought weren't that great? I'm like, how about that Russian guy that just cleans clocks? Wait till that guy shows up, the one that Umar had to fight, the super dangerous guy. Take that back, because that's a guy neither Sean O'Malley nor Merab would want to deal with. I can tell you that much by watching that guy fight.
I think Merab would do really well with that guy, because that guy doesn't have a great ground game, so I think Merab would do great with him. O'Malley, on the other hand, he'd fight him, but he'd have a tough time with that guy. That guy could put his lights out.
That guy's got heavier hands than O'Malley. That's why I just think it can be more of a risk.
100% has heavy hands, and he slings them. So he's a risky customer. So, but we've yet to see him fight again to prove our point how good he was. So once he fights again, you'll go, okay, this is the guy Umar beat that was unranked, super dangerous. Now we know why, because he's a top dog. He is a top dog. You'll see. You'll see. If he stays healthy, stays mentally the way he was when he entered the fight with us, then he's gonna be something, you know. But again, the barn burner of a fight, that fight of the decade. Were you impressed with that? Just the way they were both slinging back and forth. I was like, wow, wow.
Yeah.
I just kept saying, wow. Just wow. Oh, it's all I can say, wow. And they connected on each other back and forth. Remember, he dropped him with that right elbow. And then I'm thinking, okay, it's running his way. All of a sudden, he comes back and he hits him. And he did that, I don't know what they call it, beat. He was going all the way down.
He's doing the evasive dance. Go into evasion mode. It
was a very good thing that this referee was actually paying attention and actually didn't let it continue, because it would have been really sad had he stopped it, because obviously, by the way the fight ended, that the guy was in the fight. He was in the fight. He was in the fight. So the ref did a good job in maintaining that. And just like, well, Herb Dean, did you see what he did in regards to when he got pissed off of Merab, because right at that buzzer, Merab kissed him. What did he kiss him on?
He kissed him on the back of his neck because he knew he couldn't put him out in 10 seconds. He goes, "Oh, he's like, I'm dominating." He wanted to say, I watched his interview.
Walks away, and then O'Malley comes and swings up. But there was 4 seconds left. He was legally within his right to swing at him.
Yeah,
you know. But I guess Herb had to get control. That's what you're supposed to do. So,
well, you didn't. I don't know if you caught the beginning when O'Malley's coach was talking smack to yeah. Now, how often does that happen, you being by the corner?
It's never happened to me, but I can see it. I can see the corners.
What about the Khabib fight? Now, were those guys, because Khabib was mad at those guys? Was that
Khabib
previous?
Khabib was mad at the Connor camp, but none of us guys were talking to the counter guys. I don't recall. You know, Khabib was, of course, he had an issue with Dylan Dennis and and Connor, of course, but he fought Connor and he had an issue with Dylan Dennis, but I don't recall. I never had words with any of those guys, Connor, Dylan, or any of those guys.
No one's ever seen Coach Javier at the corner. You're a loser, Johnson. You're a loser. Can you imagine? Can we? This is unsportsmanlike, but that would just like your reputation would be gone the next day. You'd never do anything like that.
Fight. I don't. It's not me fighting those guys. It's not a real fight. I mean, we get arrested for stuff like that. I don't need to be doing that stuff. I'm there to, help my guys win their fights, and I'm there, to basically maintain order. I'm not there to start a trouble. So what am I going to do? Start talking to the other camp? I've never had a problem with another camp and yelling at them ever. Never one time. Not even thought about it. It is what it is. I mean,
I think Sean O'Malley might have opened up the blueprint on Merab. Liver kick. Sounds simplistic, but it could be a good way to change the tempo in a fight against a guy like that, because he's a stud. He stayed away. He said he stayed away on purpose because O'Malley's more of a counter fighter. So that really messed up Sean's game, because he's dealing with the guy's like, he stayed way apart from him. Only when he was going to go in to take him down, usually did he come in and close the distance much.
Well, he was further. He was kickboxing range, and he was jumping around like a hyper bunny, energetic, ever ready battery. He was D. But then when he went in for the takedown, he swooped in on it. And I thought he fought fantastic. It was not an exciting fight because his ground and pound was not impressive. His stand-up was not impressive, but his energetic and his fighting stance and how he fought the fight was very impressive. Because O'Malley is the champ for a reason. There was this guy, but he made him look plain. He really did. He really, really did. He didn't make him look like he belonged in that elite group, and so kudos to Merab for doing such an outstanding job. And I like him. I like Merab. I think he's a great fighter, and now he's a champion. And now I look forward to, if we don't get him this time for whatever reason, we should. But if we don't get him this time, I look forward to the next time, because Umar will fight. He's not going to wait for his opportunity. Hey, you guys gave me this opportunity, UFC. Now you take it from me. Umar says he's going to go, okay, you're not going to give me who's next. He's going to fight him anyway. So Umar, he's fine. He'll fight. He doesn't care. He's going to fight whoever they put in front of him.
Well, you could get the Sean O'Malley fight that way that you wanted anyways.
It could if
Yeah.
that happens. That's what the UFC decides. Look, it comes down to one thing. UFC decides who they're going to give you. You decide to take it or not take it. That's it. That's what for us. That's what it comes down to. The only thing with us is dates. Is it like during Ramadan? No. Right after Ramadan? No, because you weren't training during Ramadan. So those are the big no-nos for my guys. That's just the way it is. Everybody knows that. So don't try to offer them a fight before right after during Ramadan or right after Ramadan. It ain't gonna happen. Give them a training camp. That's what they're gonna want. That's the only thing. That's nothing
Mhm.
super hard to follow.
Yeah. It's interesting when you see some people, like I saw some guy call out after a fight. He had a mediocre fight, Rosas. It wasn't his best. He was fighting the Asian guy. He did better than some fights, but he's like, "Where's my 50 G's?" Then I'm like, I didn't see a $50,000 performance. Like if I was Dana, I'm like, I didn't see that. You know what I mean?
Oh, I missed the prelims. I came in when Irene Aldana fought when she got her face split half open,
Ooh,
and
yeah. What
I
a
was
gnarly
like,
cut.
"Oh my God, was it from a headbutt?" Right?
I don't recall. I don't
That
recall.
was a headbutt. I thought it was a headbutt. But anyways, I don't recall either. But watch. That's when I came in to the pay-per-view because I try to go into different locations that were showing it, and man, look, Vegas is crazy. There's one place you walk in there that was going to be four of us, and then it turned out to be just two people, and it turned out to be like $400 minimum $400 drink, and I don't drink. We don't drink, so we're like, well, we don't drink. It's like, well, that plus, it's like crazy, right? And then we found a place that was actually just 25 for entrance, and then another you have to have another
Eat.
20 eat. So basically, for $50, you can enjoy the fight and a whole bunch of screens and eat, and that's what I did. As it's not that I couldn't pay for the other, I just didn't want to. I just felt
No,
like
out of principle, that's like a scam. Like,
I looked at it like a scam. I go, why would I want to pay all this money for this? No, I don't know. No, no,
right.
no. These people that do these bars things and they open up the liquor thing and you enter the bar and you have to pay so much to drink and
We're gonna
this
give you bottle service.
bottle service, $50,000 bottle service, like the Super Bowl. Remember that one?
Oh
When
yeah.
the last Super Bowl they were charging that and people were paying it. Out of principle alone, if I had the money, I wouldn't pay it. I would just out of principle alone, I wouldn't pay it.
This goes back to Studio 54, the disco
It's
days.
crazy, man. It's just
That was
crazy.
the biggest trick. That's how they got people to pay ridiculous prices for things. We're not going to let you behind the velvet rope unless you're extra, 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 extra special. And then that was taking all the Vegas. You can't get behind the rope. You can't get the VIP. The VIP. I mean, you're not a regular person. You're a VIP. In other words, you're going to spend ridiculous money. Forget about it, man.
Yeah,
I'm not interested.
yeah.
I'm glad you found an affordable place to watch it.
Oh, and that too, and then also too with Vegas, I don't really gamble anymore, so I had to pay for rooms again. Something I've never done before. I have to pay for rooms, so I had to pay for rooms. But I saved money because if I would have gambled, I'd have felt obligated to because it gave me comp rooms, free food, this and that. So I'd have felt like I needed to gamble. Then I would have lost more money than I would have wanted to. So
Just stay at one
I,
of those nice hotels
I,
that don't have a casino in them.
no, I had a great time. I mean, I'll tell you, I went to go see Los Bukis. It's a really like the Mick Jagger and the Rolling Stones, old guys like that. Not as old, but they're back in the band from the '70s, and the lead singer is Marco Antonio Solis. And I've never been to a Latin concert, so but I listen to the music all the time. Now I listen to it quite a bit. And when I said, man, I've always told myself I gotta go to one of these concerts one day. I finally went. It was the most fun I've ever had in my whole entire life. That was my best thing was the Los Bukis for me. It was like I
Yeah.
was every song that they sang, I knew every single song, and I loved every single song. So it was like a 2 hour plus performance of song after song after song that I recognized and I listened to and I enjoy listening to. So Los Bukis, man, I was like so glad. And next time around, if they ever come to San Jose, Latin bands, that I'm gonna go, or not just Latin bands, but in particular, just bands that I want to see, like like Mick Jagger and them. If they ever came around, I probably won't miss it because it's like nostalgic, right? When you're there, and you
Yeah.
see guys and this music you recognize. It's pretty cool, you know. Before that, the best band I've been to was it was at the
Shoreline.
Shoreline. It was a Shoreline, and it was shoot, was that blonde guy? He was like a country like singer. He was awesome. Man, I don't know if I forgot his name.
Not Garth Brooks.
No, he was with Reba. He was with Reba McEntire. She was singing with him. But he's more new wave type country. Blonde guy. Shoot, never mind.
That's okay. That's okay. I'll figure it out.
Blank on me, but he was the best concert I've seen up to that point. But now Los Bukis just blew me away. Because you know, it's not that the other guy isn't awesome. It's just for me, because something that you listen to. It's something you resonates on you, and me being Latin, that resonated on me, and you know, it's who I am, you know, and man, I really enjoyed that concert. So
Must have been some great vibes though.
Oh, it was great for me. It was great. It was probably 17,000 people there and stuff. It was an unbelievable show. It was great. Now I'm looking forward to when I go to Vegas and stuff, and forget the gambling. I'm gonna look for the shows. Go look at some of the, you know, the singing shows. I think they're pretty awesome.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. So did you find a place for the, you know, gym? We're gonna come on, people. We're gonna get the Las Vegas, aka one of these days.
Yeah, I found the place closer to the PI that I like. We're going to look into it, but we're still in just the beginning stages. I looked at a few. I looked at one that was a hotel that I just like, location-wise, it was downtown, in the old downtown by the Spear. It was not enough parking. I didn't like it. I didn't like the vibes. And then I saw another place in Summerlin. And the building itself didn't have enough parking. The location was great, but no parking. And then I saw one on what is it? Durango. I saw one in Durango, and I like that one a lot. But we'll see if it's the right fit. But just we're still primarily in the first phase of looking. But nothing's been decided. But I like closer to the PI.
Right on.
You know, which is the, you know, UFC Institute. I like closer there. I like that area, and it's because a lot of kids are in that area. And I think my gym does fantastic with kids. You know, so I'd like to come into that particular area close to there, where a lot of kids are at.
Self-defense, martial arts should be good. So, anything coming up? Any other fights coming up soon with any of your guys? I saw one of your guys couldn't make it on the contender or get sick or something.
The only one I have is Mo Alarak. He's fighting in the MENA tournament next week.
Okay.
He's in the semifinals, which, you know, his original opponent pulled out for I don't know why. So he's got the opponent he has is the person that lost to that opponent that pulled out. So
okay.
So he's fighting a real tough striker, but Mo's a grappler, and I'm pretty sure I know what's going to happen. I'm not going to be there. I was going to go there, but I'll be there in the finals. He'll be in the finals. And I think he's going to be in the finals. If I'm having a crystal ball, he's going to be in there with the Jordanian fighter who's really, really good, who's a former, I think, Brave. He was a former Brave champion. So the guy's real good. So that's the guy I think we'll meet in the finals. It'll be like old versus new. You know, he's like 31, maybe 32. Mo's still in 25, 26. So Mo will be in the finals for sure.
So you going to stay in San Jose for a little bit, or are you going back overseas?
No, I go back to Dubai on Tuesday. I'm only here one day.
Well, I go to California on Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm gone.
That's how we do the podcast. We try to go to the other location the other guy was just in.
I'll be gone for 3 to 6 months in Dubai. So I have a bunch of business that I'm still trying to finish up. Like by the time I come back, I'll have Javier's Choice Tuna is going to be out. And a few other projects that I'm working on. My book deal, hopefully called The Sit Down. Hopefully that'll get, you know, taken care of. And our pilot, our you know, MMA Life is called the MMA Life. We filmed the pilot. We feel it's complete. So now it's just a matter of what network is going to pick it up once the producers set it up and put the what's it called, the hot reel. What would they call it?
Sizzle reel. Yeah.
Yeah. When they send the sizzle, it was like 30 minutes. So they made it. First it was going to be short. Then they liked it so much they made it longer. So, you know, yeah, it's MMA Life. It's not. It's behind the scenes. You know, it's what I go through, what my wife goes through, what all the people around me go through. You know, the instructors, my son, you know, Cain Velasquez, all of us. It's all behind the scenes. You know, what goes on before the fight. It's not the actual fighter getting ready for the fight. It's the actual behind what goes on the MMA life.
People be interested in that. Well, thanks for coming on, Jav. I know you get another podcast coming up, and we'll get this one out there lickety split. And tune in, like, and subscribe. We'll see everybody around. Follow Javier at AKA JAV.